Well, to that point, European races, one actually right in your backyard was circulated, or reports were this week that a street race, new plans for a London street race around the Docklands area, I believe, which currently hosts a Formula E event, put forward plans that they wanted to possibly host a London Grand Prix in the future. Nate, you've got an article right now on ESPN.com kind of debunking, it
Yeah.
seems, this proposal. Where are we with that? Is Formula One even interested?
Well, that's the key. That's the key part. Is that it seems that the answer to that is no. And it's funny in Formula One. I think one of the stories you can guarantee will come up every couple of years is this possibility of a London Grand Prix. It's something that Bernie Ecclestone, clearly was interested in exploring. But there were talks of, can we get it in central London? For people not familiar with London, so it's more in the east. It's kind of, you're pushing towards the area that hosted the Olympics. You're going out towards that kind of neck of the woods. And like you said, it hosts a Formula E race, so clearly can host a motor race. But I think Formula One are quite clear that it's not the area, it's not a part of London they'd want to go to. If you look at what they've done in Vegas, that's the middle of the city. I think that this. I think Formula One were quite annoyed about how that all came out, to be honest, because the company that's put this together is called the London Collective, and their plan is actually quite cool. If you look at it, there's talk of kind of floating grandstands and temporary track that can be flipped over and then becomes like a bike and a running track when Formula One's not there. It's part of a redevelopment of that whole area. So the plan itself looks quite great, but I think Formula One felt that they basically just planted this story into the press. Everyone runs wild with it, saying London Grand Prix could be on the calendar, and Formula One come out and say, well, no, we haven't even spoken to you yet. So I think that that's sadly quite low down on the list of things that are likely to happen. I'd love to see it. I think it would be interesting. Maybe not in the Docklands area. Anyone who's lived in London, the Docklands isn't what you think of when you think of, a great London race. I'd love a race down the Mall, down towards Buckingham Palace. But again, anyone who's lived in London will know that just the idea of shutting London down for a few days for an F1 race, I mean, it was bad enough when we had the Olympics here. We're a pretty cynical bunch in England, and I don't know how they'd do it. But then again, I would never have predicted we'd have a race down the streets in Vegas. So I think the new world of Formula One, maybe things are different. But this plan certainly is a long way away from being green lit. But again, it shows you how much interest there is kind of, around the world to put events on.
I'm going to go out on a limb here from the few days that I've spent in London. Population per capita in London compared to what you have out in Las Vegas, I couldn't imagine the disruption in your all city compared to what will happen in Vegas. I think they can deal with it in their area.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think Vegas kind of, they lean into that, right? They lean into like, this is ridiculous. And I think we've said before, if you tried to put an F1 race on in Monte Carlo now from scratch without a race being on, it'd be very difficult to greenlight that. People would be like, there's absolutely no way we're doing that. It's kind of got the legacy there. So to go into the heart of a very busy city, I think it's very, very difficult to do. And I can just imagine conversations with my friends down at the pub who don't like Formula One, which is actually a diminishing number now. It seems to be fewer and fewer people don't like Formula One. So maybe this is the time, strike while the iron's hot and get Londoners on board while there's Drive to Survive out currently.
Well, I remember when Formula One did a demonstration run in the centre of London, down towards Trafalgar Square, not quite as far as the House of Parliament, but it was just a short run. And one of the things the drivers had to agree to was not to do any burnouts, kind of leave any rubber on the tarmac, because it might damage the tarmac and all this kind of stuff. It was one of the things that they had to get signed off. And inevitably, they're Formula One drivers, so went and did burnouts and donuts, and there was burning rubber everywhere. But it just goes to show, like, the level of restrictions you get in a place like London, which, I mean, as much as there is a growing fan base in the UK at the moment for Formula One, I still think there'd be enough people trying to throw spanners in the work and not have it happen. So I think that, Docklands would be nice, but it does sound to me, we've had this story come up again and again and again, and every time it's really just an attempt to get momentum behind the bid and get a bit of cash behind the bid, and then hope that F1 kind of, falls to public pressure and has to go with it. But I can't see it happening right now.
It would be, as you say, Nate, mega if they could ever get it done. It would be, awesome.
So my if I could draw one up, I would say that the race starts down the Mall facing Buckingham Palace, and you have the king come out on the balcony and he waves the flag to start them. They race off, and then he waves the flag to finish it, or like Prince William does or something. Can you imagine? That'd be amazing. Never in a million years would it happen. but as a visual, that'd be pretty amazing.
Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, that's very much in the dream column.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.